final fate of 30-year-old Eleanor Higby has sparked controversy and debate worldwide. The circumstances surrounding the expectant mother's disappearance remain mysterious and a constant topic of discussion amongst many intrepid investigators. Various arguments have taken place and many theories have been posited, frequently accusing Eleanor's husband, Thomas Higby, of having some sinister involvement in his wife's disappearance. Others believe the popular online film critic to be completely innocent of wrongdoing, claiming he was an upstanding member of the community who unconditionally loved his wife and their unborn children. So what really happened to Eleanor Higby? Do any of these tinfoil hat theories have any merit? As more evidence is brought to light, investigators grow more and more uncertain. We've compiled the most compelling pieces of evidence and will present to our viewers a completely unbiased account of the Higby conspiracy. To start at the beginning, Tommy Higby was adopted by Ken and Tamara Higby on June 24, 1989. He rose to public prominence in the early 2010s due to his frequently aggressive opinions on motion pictures posted online. While in the hospital recovering from the attack, Thomas met and befriended a registered nurse, Ellie Foster. The two fell madly in love and were soon married. It was a storybook romance, or so it seemed. Eleanor Higby's Facebook profile went conspicuously silent shortly after the couple's pregnancy announcement, and Thomas's film review website was updated to mention an indefinite hiatus for personal and familial reasons. It is believed that during the height of the Higby's social media blackout period, Eleanor's disappearance took place. We have video of Thomas's first public appearance after the events of May 18, 2019. The following interview with Rochester News correspondent Mike Snow took place on July 8th of that year.
Today's interview is brought to you by Priority Cola, the crisp, refreshing taste you put above all else. Priority Cola, make yours a priority. Joining us via satellite is acclaimed film critic Thomas Higby. Thank you for joining us, Tom.
Glad to be here.
So, Tom, everyone knows who you are, of course, but in your own words, can you tell us what really happened on May the 18th, 2019?
Wow, we're going right there, huh? Well, I'm not surprised given your history for journalistic integrity, Mike. May the 18th, 2019, I come home and Eleanor is in the basement frantically looking around for an old VHS player. A package had arrived on our doorstep with a very old cassette, a VHS cassette tape in it. We hook it up, we plop it in there, and sure enough, it's Eleanor, and she's in a corner, talking to someone, and the narrative structure of the film is strange. I don't understand it at first. I think she's playing a joke. I give it 2 out of 5 stars, but as I make that joke, I notice that she's scared.
She had no recollection of making this home video.
This isn't a joke. And she's very, very frightened, and as the film is going on, it just cuts out. We decide it's late. We're both tired. We go to bed, and there was a bad storm that night. And I wake up to a loud thunderclap, and I reach over to hold Eleanor, and in the bed, the bed is warm, but she's gone.
Now, what do you mean by gone?
I mean gone. Gone, Mike. She didn't come back that night. She didn't come back the next day. She didn't come back the next week. And then the police show up. I call the police, and they start investigating. They start taking any clues they can. They take samples of her DNA that end up matching, as you well know, a sample from a patient in a hospital 3 states over.
You're describing the Malford Clinic?
Yes, I'm referring to the Malford Clinic. Apparently, the DNA they had taken matched the DNA of a deceased woman. And what that means is, on paper, my wife is dead. But I'm not giving up hope. I'm not going to believe that until I see some physical evidence.
Truly unbelievable. Now, Tom, I won't mince words here. Public opinion is that you murdered your wife, and that you're exploiting her disappearance for personal gain. Care to comment?
I loved my wife. My wife loved me. She was everything to me. And she was carrying 2 of our unborn children. And I worry about those children, and I know they're still out there, and I don't want them to grow up without parents. Both her and I grew up without parents, and I know what that's like. This book is out there so I can find out what happened to her. And frankly, Mike, I don't care for your accusations.
Accusations aside, how do you explain your wife's DNA being found in a 30-year-old gravesite? What about the videotape and the DNA anomalies? How do you explain the fact that when matched against your own submitted sample, the results show both you and your wife share enough genetic similarities to be considered not only each other's siblings, but also each other's parents? Do you want to know a secret? I think you know more than you let on. What are you hiding? Tom? Ladies and gentlemen, it appears we've lost contact with our guest. Probably a technical issue. Cut the feed, Jimmy.
Did Thomas leave the interview because he felt the interviewer was attacking him? Or was he considering some new information that was leading toward the discovery of his guilt? Is Thomas the victim of a vast conspiracy? Or did his odd reaction confirm the many theories that Thomas Higbee purposefully contaminated a grave to throw off forensic investigators? Did the strange inconsistencies with the DNA evidence convict or exonerate him? Friends say he became more and more withdrawn, acting erratically and speaking nonsense. Then this happened.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Snow here with a breaking news story. It is with mixed emotions that I bring you this report. Film critic and controversial figure Thomas "Tommy" Higbee has been found dead. Seemingly, eyewitnesses have reported by his own hand. Only 2 weeks after his memorable appearance on our own programme. We may never know the truth behind the Higbee conspiracy. Roll the clip, Jimmy.
Thomas Higbee's body was cremated, and in accordance to his last will and testament, his ashes spread across the soil of Malford Clinic burial plot number 42. Detectives marked the Higbee disappearance as solved, claiming Thomas's own marketable brand of rage overcame him. He murdered his wife and then killed himself out of guilt or shame when faced with the public backlash. The case was closed. Do you want to know a secret? Had investigators done their due diligence and looked at Thomas's cell phone records, they would have seen dozens of calls to the same phone number within a short period of time leading up to his death. A quick social media search revealed that the phone number belonged to a nurse practitioner, one whose identity we agreed to keep secret in exchange for her cooperation with this investigation, but whose employment history included the Malford Clinic Insane Asylum at precisely the same time burial plot number 42 was first being occupied by an unclaimed Jane Doe. This exclusive video evidence will now be played, complete in its entirety, exactly as it was recorded, on May 19th, 1989.
Tell me, how did this start? The videotape you were telling me about, how did it start?
I don't know. I saw myself on the screen, but then it froze.
And then what happened?
I was so scared. I mean, I don't understand how I could have been on the screen making something that I haven't even made yet, but now it makes sense because I'm making it now.
And what do you mean by that?
I can change it. It's a warning. I'm trying to warn us.
This is a symptom of your delusion speaking. You do not believe these things you are saying.
I do believe them. This is true. You've got to believe me. I'm not crazy.
I would like to believe you. I do not know if it is possible, but we will take this tape we are making today. I have opened a safety deposit box. We will keep it for 30 years. When the contract lapses, the videotape will automatically be mailed to your supposed 2019 address. Do you understand what I'm saying? Eleanor, this is your chance. Tell the videotape and your future self anything you would like to say.
I just want to talk to my husband. Tommy, I love you. I miss you. I'm so scared. I'm scared for me. I'm scared for our kids. I can't raise them alone.
And what makes you think you'll be raising them at all?
What? What does that mean?
They will become wards of the state until you can embrace your delusions and work on the road to recovery. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No. You can't take them.
We can.
No, you can't take them!
Is it recording?
Yes, Doctor.
Very good. I am Jacques Stevens, PhD of Psychology and Malvern Clinic for the Mentally Insane. Today, the interview with patient number 42, Jane Doe, admitted 18th May 1989, did not go very well. It is this physician's opinion that this woman is mentally unfit and a danger to herself and her unborn children. It is my recommendation that the children should be put up for adoption right away, separated for their own safety and the safety of their mother. Case closed.
Our contact not only supplied the shocking video, but explained patient number 42 soon gave birth to a boy and girl. The pregnancy was too taxing on the mother, and she did not survive. Both children were whisked away by separate agencies and entered into the foster care system. The girl child was sent to Rochester Orphanage, and no more is known from that point. The orphanage burned down that same year and lost many child records to the blaze. The boy was easier to find. Adoption records showed the infant child was released to his new parents on June 24th, 1989, Ken and Tamara Higbee. Thomas Higbee, film critic, orphan, and widower, hung himself less than 24 hours after receiving this information. And this is where the Higbee mystery ends. Evidence indicates that Eleanor Higbee somehow inadvertently arrived in the past and gave birth, evidently, to her own husband. Some even theorize she gave birth to herself as well, fulfilling all the needed criteria for a self-solving predestination paradox. Others maintain this is all a smoke and mirrors tactic to distract from Thomas's involvement in his wife's disappearance. We've done our best to report the facts in this case, but the biggest finding of all, this tragedy happened while no one was watching. But the evidence was right there for us all to find, if we just looked a little closer. Are there other truths out there too? And will we ever be fully prepared to handle them, if and when they come to light? Think critically and always be your own judge. Thank you for watching.